What's going on, everybody? This is your boy, the Sports Doctor Spock, Mickey Coleman, coming at you with another great video. And today we're going to talk about gun control in the United States and how different laws differ. Well, you should use two words to mean the same thing. Good Lord. Across the country, like some states have different laws than others. And we're going to explore why some of these shootings have happened, especially with the shooting of political commentator Charlie Kirk, and some of the shootings going on across the country, whether it be gang shootings, school shootings, urban shootings, or attempts to assassinate political figures. So without any further wait, let's get into the video.
Tonight, we find ourselves at a somber moment in American history. The date is September 22nd, 2025. The nation is still reeling from a series of shocking political attacks that have shaken us to our core. Just 12 days ago, on September 10th, conservative activist Charlie Kirk was assassinated while speaking to a crowd at Utah Valley University.
Assassinated or just shot, depending on who you speak to, whether you're on the left or the right. Different people feel differently about the unaliving of Mr. Charlie Kirk.
This tragic event did not happen in a vacuum. It followed two separate assassination attempts against former President Donald Trump last year, one in July 2024 in Butler, Pennsylvania that left one person
He's the
dead,
current
and
president
another
now.
just 2 months later in Florida. These violent acts have forced a difficult but necessary national conversation back into the spotlight. The topic is gun control, an issue as old as the country itself, but one that feels more urgent than ever. The events of the past year have painted a grim picture of our deeply divided political landscape. The attack in Pennsylvania saw Thomas Matthew Crooks open fire from a rooftop. He used an AR-15 style rifle. Similarly, the assassination of Charlie Kirk was carried out by a gunman, 22-year-old Tyler James Robinson. He also fired from a rooftop using a rifle to deliver a single, fatal shot. These incidents, coupled with the attempted assassination of Mr. Trump at his Florida golf course, have raised serious questions about security, political rhetoric, and the laws that govern who can own which firearms and where.
Before we get into it, I believe as long as you're mentally capable of handling a firearm, I believe you should have it if you're mentally capable. But let's go.
It's a conversation that often gets loud and heated, but the stakes have rarely felt higher. To understand this divide, let's look at two very different approaches to gun legislation. On one end of the spectrum, you have states like California, New York. These states have enacted some of the most stringent gun control measures in the nation. They often require comprehensive background checks for all firearm purchases, including those between private citizens. They have also banned certain categories of firearms, such as specific models of semi-automatic rifles, often labeled as assault weapons, and they've placed limits on the capacity of ammunition magazines. The philosophy here is clear: creating more barriers and checks is believed to reduce the risk of firearms falling into the wrong hands.
I disagree with that part of it. I agree with the evaluations or whatever it is to get them, but I believe you should have whatever you can buy to protect your home. Now, maybe you shouldn't be able to take that out to the streets, but you should be able to have as much ammunition as you can buy, and you should be able to have whatever you need for your home if you're legally able to have a gun and you're mentally competent to take care of it.
Stark contrast are states like Texas, Arizona, Utah. In these states, the legal landscape for gun ownership is significantly less restrictive. Many have adopted permitless carry or constitutional carry laws, which allow eligible adults to carry a handgun openly or concealed without needing a special permit or license. Background check requirements are often limited to those mandated by federal law for licensed dealers, leaving private sales largely unregulated. These states generally do not have bans on so-called assault weapons or high-capacity magazines. The differences are not just about what is banned, but also about the process of acquiring a firearm. In a state like
See, that's why I know states, political figures, entertainers, and public speakers are in more danger because anybody That's basically an adult, 18 and up, can have these guns and don't have to go through a whole lot to get them.
New York, purchasing a handgun can be a lengthy ordeal. It might involve submitting an application to local law enforcement, providing character references, undergoing a thorough background investigation, and waiting for an extended period before a permit is granted. What do these legal differences actually look like in everyday life? Imagine you live in California. If you want to purchase an AR-15, the type of rifle used in the Butler, Pennsylvania shooting, you would find it is largely illegal under the state's assault weapons ban. You also cannot purchase magazines that hold more than 10 rounds of ammunition. If a friend or family member wants to sell you a firearm, you can't simply exchange cash for the gun. You must go through a licensed firearms dealer to conduct a background check and officially transfer the weapon. These rules directly impact what a person can own and how they can acquire it, creating a tightly regulated environment. Now, let's cross the country to a state with more permissive laws like Utah, where Charlie Kirk was killed. Here, the experience is vastly different. An 18-year-old can legally purchase a rifle, including an AR-15, from a private seller without undergoing a background check. There are no state-level bans on specific types of semi-automatic rifles or high-capacity magazines. Utah also has a permitless carry law, meaning an adult who is legally allowed to own a handgun can carry it concealed in public without any special license or training. This
Whoa, see, that's it. You need training to be able to handle a firearm, because if you have a firearm and you don't take care of it properly, when it becomes time to use it, it might not work the way you need it to work. One. Two, you need to be able to store it safely so your kids don't have access to it, or just children in general. It don't have to be your kids. It could be kids visiting or kids that just live with you, where children don't have access to it, where they ended up taking it to school or hurting themselves or other people in the home with the weapon. Okay. You need training. Now, maybe because I live in an open carry state, as long as you don't conceal it, but seal it and you're illegally able to have it, it's yours. You don't need a permit for it. You need a permit to be able to conceal it where I live. And I kind of agree with open carry if you're trained, because I think the training is what should be mandatory and have the mental capacity to own a weapon. That's what I believe. But go.
legal framework prioritizes ease of access and the right to self-defense, placing far fewer obstacles between a citizen and a firearm.
Or it needs to
The
be able to
contrast in daily reality for gun owners and non-gun owners is stark. The recent wave of political violence, particularly the assassination of Charlie Kirk and the attempts on Donald Trump's life, has thrust this debate into a new phase of urgency. These events
not we not won't even really speak just on that, but we're going to talk about violence in neighborhoods and the violence in our schools. Those two are is what concerns me the most about this gun issue. Um, the reason they bring these two up is because it was well, Charlie Kirk up is because it was he was basically unalive doing a live stream in front of thousands of people there and millions of people around the world seeing him just all this just that's the reason they're talking about this, but I'm talking about the whole thing. Now, in those two states where, as this video said, Utah and Pennsylvania, it's very easy for anybody 18 and up to have a weapon, and those states, those are where political figures, actors, athletes, public speakers are in the most danger. So maybe in those places we should have better security or take more preventative measures, since the gun laws are so pretty much open. Pretty much anybody that's over 18 can get a weapon that's not a felon or whatever.
have become powerful symbols for both sides of the argument. Gun control advocates point to the use of high-powered rifles in these attacks as clear evidence that such weapons are too dangerous and too easily obtained. They are renewing calls for a federal ban on assault weapons, universal background checks, national red flag laws, arguing that a state-by-state approach is simply not enough to prevent determined attackers from acquiring deadly firearms.
I think it should be one rule nationally. I don't think it should be state to state. It should be nationally, so everybody has a very clear understanding of what you need to do to be able to own a gun legally in this country.
Firepower. The argument is that a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. On the other side of the aisle, gun rights supporters argue that these tragedies prove their point. Restrictive laws do not stop criminals. They emphasize that the attackers in Pennsylvania and Utah chose locations and methods to circumvent security,
Well, I say
and
it
that
should be
more
the same
laws would
everywhere.
only disarm law-abiding citizens who might need to defend themselves in an increasingly dangerous world. Following the attacks, many have argued for a focus on mental health. The Secret Service has already undergone significant reforms after the security failures in Pennsylvania, with its new director, Sean Curran, vowing to ensure
That's not
such
him,
an
by the
event
way.
can never be repeated. The conversation is difficult, but it is one we cannot afford to avoid.
Yes, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it in the comment section. Do you guys have any ideas, first of all, how we can prevent dangerous people from getting access to these weapons to keep us all a little bit safer? I'm not just talking about presidential candidates. I'm talking about everybody across the board. Let me know in the comment section what should we be writing our congressman about as far as gun control and how to keep everybody safe. This is your boy, the Sports Dr. Spock, Mickey Coleman. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you like this video, and I am gone for now. Peace.